Perseverance is one of the values at the forefront of Miyamoto Musashi's nature. Musashi, both in his personal or professional life, faced with lots of hardship, where he often demonstrated quite a few shortcomings rather than great abilities. But he always has a purpose or objective in his life. A kendo, the way of the sword that make him overcome obstacles and carry on. With each swing of his blade, Musashi defied the odds, surmounting obstacles with unwavering determination. His journey stood as a testament to the power of resilience, illustrating that even amidst the darkest storms, the flickering light of purpose can guide one forward, illuminating the path to greatness. Hello everyone, today in this video of the power of patience and perseverance, we will go through the personal horizon of Samurai Miyamoto Musashi, where you will gain wisdom and experience, continual self-improvement until you become the person you set out to be. It is also far more realistic and achievable than a manga scenario in which the samurai superpowers are innate and the drive that moves them stems from anger or ambitions or a desire for vengeance. So let's start without further ado. Simple goals lead to great achievements. One of the main characteristics of Samurai Musashi was that his objectives were straightforward, simple and pure. Samurai Musashi's simple goals revolve around mastering the art of the sword and embodying the principles of honor, discipline, and self-improvement. Through his relentless training, he aimed to refine his skills, attain enlightenment, and become a paragon of warrior virtues. Musashi seeks to overcome adversity, conquer his own limitations, and leave a lasting legacy through his martial prowess and wisdom. Remember, they are simple goals which anyone can identify with, but persevering even in simple goals leads to achieving great personal milestones. Along with perseverance, patience is a value that Miyamoto Musashi exercised constantly. But this patience does not mean that he waited for things to happen, as if he was expecting some outside miracle to occur. Rather, he practiced patience along with perseverance until he achieved what he set out to do. There is a famous Japanese proverb that says, "If you want to heat a rock, sit on it for 100 years. Doing it as well as possible, the value of perseverance is ubiquitous in the Musashi nature and in many of his soul-crushing training that he practiced on a daily basis. One of the first words you learn when you study Japanese is Ganbarimasu, which is normally translated as doing it as well as possible. The first two characters that make up the word are, which means stubborn or tenacious, and which means stretch or expand. Put together, the meaning would be something along the lines of stretch and expand my stubbornness, objective as far as possible. The word Ganbarimasu is at the heart of the expression. Ganbate Kudasai, which means do it as well as possible, but could be more literally translated as be stubborn and determined until you achieve what you aim to do. It is widely used in duels where two swordmen fight for skill test. The Ganbarimasu philosophy means not stopping until an objective has been reached. A plan of more than 100 years before accelerating on something, it is important to be clear what our final destination is and at what point we will need to call. The Samurai Musashi flowmen, effect driven by perseverance, and Ganbarimasu can be summarized by a formula. Patience without action leads to a passive life. Patience with perseverance leads to us fulfilling our goals. The Swedish psychologist Anders Ericsson, author of the book Peak, Secrets from the New Science of Expertise, points out that Homo sapiens, the man who knows, should actually be called Homo exercens, the man who practices. He believed that since humans are the only species aware that it is possible to improve through practicing, but be cautious because not all types of practice lead to progress. Musashi, in his book, A Book of Five Rings, says that practice can widely be attributed to knife practice, which consists of simply dedicating time to something indiscriminately, and regardless of how many hours you devote to something, if you do it inefficiently or wrongly, you will not make the progress you hoped for. And other more important one is deliberate practice, which Musashi designed himself to master his dual sword skills. A well-designed plan for reaching your goal. Musashi recommends three main guidelines for this kind of practice. First, define the targets. This way you will know which steps to take and which direction to go in order to reach your goal. Then give it your full attention. This will allow you to adapt to different situations and problems without losing focus. And at last, ask for constant feedback to check that you are on the right track, and if not, make the necessary adjustments. Samurai Miyamoto Musashi, the 10,000 hour rule. Musashi points out that 10,000 hours of practice are necessary in order to succeed. To validate 10,000 hour rule, just see the cases of geniuses who met their dedication quota before blossoming, and at one prominent example is Mozart. Although he began to compose at the age of 7, and some of his teenage pieces are remarkable, but he wrote his great work after he was 21, by which time he had accumulated over 10,000 hours composing, practicing, and performing in public. Now imagine something new you would like to learn. Before programming the time you are going to devote to it, let's take a look at Musashi's summary of the different levels that can be reached depending on how much time you devoted to your practice. With 1 hour, you will have a basic introduction to the subject. With 10 hours, you will gain a wider notion of the main concepts. With 100 hours, you would reach an intermediate level. With 1000 hours, you will become a specialist. And with 10,000 hours, we become masters of the subject. This last level represents excellence. Plan your 10,000 hours. If you have a passion that you are greatly attached to like Musashi, you would like to devote your life to, you can consider attaining mastery. Through Musashi method, the 10,000 hour rule, which requires commitment and a plan. Perseverance, Ganbarimasu, is essential, but you must decide how many years you can or want to allow yourself to achieve your great objective. Numbers don't lie. Let's say you devoted 1 hour a day, multiply 5 days a week. You will require 40 years to master your objective. Similarly, 2 hours a day, multiply 5 days a week, 20 years. 4 hours a day, multiply 5 days a week, 10 years. 8 hours a day, multiply 5 days a week, 5 years. One have to understand that attaining mastery in a relatively short time demands total dedications. That is to say, our passion must be our job. However, even if you work in something else, a passion, the practicing of a particular art, sport, or object of study can accompany one happily over a lifetime. But the question is, what passion motivates you enough to devote your life to it? Just like Musashi did. If you still don't have an answer to that, consider the words of the greatest swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi. If you don't know what your mission in life is, you already have one to find it. That wraps up today's video. I hope you found inspiration in the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi and the countless individuals who have followed in his footsteps throughout history. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Thank you for watching.